Good morning, everyone. This is Michele Townsend Grove speaking. I am the interim religious educator who has been working with the First Unitarian Church of St. Louis for the past year. Last September, late September, early October, when I was still new in the role, I made a video standing in my very kitchen here in Galena, Illinois, and I made a pot of tea. And at that point, I invited you to join me for tea at the church when I was there on site. So here today I am. It's the last day, and I have made a pot of tea. For making tea is a ritual for me. I don't drink coffee, but I adore a pot of tea, and it's a spiritual practice that I strive to do every day. This is something special for me because it always reminds me of my grandmother, and it also reminds me about the importance of relationships. So when I drink tea, I think of you and I think of all those people who are important to me. This past year has been a wonderful, wonderful year. I have loved every moment that I have been with you. I have learned a great deal. I have met some wonderful people, all of you included, and I feel as if the work we did was sacred. We made great strides, and you all engaged in the interim work in great ways. Interim work is about reflection and transition. My goal with you was to come in and take a look at your interim religious education through your heritage, your history, your identity. Who are you now and what makes you unique? And then also set a path for the future. Now, shortly into my time with you, we derailed and changed that a little bit because a part of what makes it work effectively was to have the 10-hour-a-week religious education coordinator on site. And that position was never filled fully. Thank you, Andrea Barron, for coming in and doing parts of it by giving us a couple of hours each week. And yet there was still so much that needed to be done that my role shifted a bit to work in communication and the setup of the program each week. And that took away from some of the broad picture thinking and reflecting and doing that we needed to do. That's okay because the puzzle pieces are in place. So we spent time looking at history and found wonderful stories of your religious education past and people who have inspired you today. We've looked at the unique identity, who you are as a Unitarian Universalist community in downtown, or at least one of the parts of St. Louis, Missouri, with all these different communities surrounding you in a very unique part of the United States, and with your unique passion for love of community and for social justice. So there's all these different things that make up who you are. And then we started the work of visioning. That's not quite done yet, but you all have the bones. Thanks to the board for doing the work this year with all of you on that broad vision of who you all are as the First Unitarian Church of St. Louis. Excuse me. You see, that sets a foundation. You all shared with each other, you listened, and you have put together priorities for your vision. Now, those in religious education leadership, both professional and volunteer, can take that and look now more to the vision of what does this mean for faith formation, for religious education, for lifespan learning, and for children, youth, families, for all of you. So I wish you well as you go forward with that. So please know a couple of things. One is that you all have an amazing new minister of congregational life coming on board. Thank you, Reverend Sabrina, for being willing to take on that role. I believe that you will do remarkable things, and the creative energy and wisdom will be a valuable asset for this community. You also have continuing on this journey, Reverend Kim, who does amazing work and who has been with you long enough to know you and love you who you are and to continue here as things move forward. We also have a great religious education committee in place, one that could use a couple more members, but still has the bones and the passion with some great minds and thinkers on it. I appreciate who the RE committee is, and I appreciate the work you've done and that you will continue to do. Also, you all who participate, children, youth, families, Sunday superintendents, teachers, childcare providers, the nursery coordinator, thank you, Anna. All of you make a magical place. So I believe your future is bright and creative. Please know this. The face of religious education is changing. It has been changing for a few decades. This is not new, but it's more eminent. We are in a place where people are really questioning why come to a Sunday service with the Unitarian Universalists? What is that really for me? And so we who are in leadership have to really kind of put our fingernails into the dirt and pull back to say, what's in this soil? What will help Unitarian Universalists grow? Why do we even exist? That question is a constant. And in that, the way we do religious education is shifting. So you might watch some of that this year. Last night, so this is July 1st, Tuesday morning, when I am recording this. Last night, Monday, June 30th, a group of religious education leaders and committee members gathered to look at next year. We already have a solid handful, about 6, 7 people who have volunteered to either be Sunday superintendents, to facilitate classes, to work with the nursery, whatever it might be. We have that. There's room for more. And yet we looked at how is it are we going to form to carry out our goals? The goal of the committee is to look next year at Unitarian Universalist identity. Now, identity is a bit about who we've been, who are Unitarians, who are Universalists, who are Unitarian Universalists once they combined in 1961, and most important, who are we today? One of the things that came loud and clear out of this group last night is that understanding and living into our UU values is important. How do we understand what those are? How do we identify them, both as us as individuals, but also for the community? And then how do we learn more about them and build relationships around them? So we are looking at a way of designing Sunday morning learning experiences around those goals. My friends, I believe it will be fun. I also believe there might be Legos. So watch out, my friends. Legos and UU values, is that possible? Yes, it is. And it could be fun. So there's room for you at the table to play, to lead, to learn, and to be in relationship. I hope you'll enjoy this exciting new time. And I thank you for making space for a model where I came to you from a faraway place to be in relationship. It was a joy, and you all are fabulous. Take care.